Let me guess, your child doesn't just have one speed. One moment, they're bouncing off the walls, shouting, spinning, climbing on furniture, and melting down the minute something doesn't go their way. The next moment, they're completely zoned out and disconnected. Blank stare, can't follow instructions. It's like they're in the room, but they're not really there. You've tried the parenting books, the behavior and reward charts, maybe even meds, and still you're left asking, why is my child like this? And more importantly, how do I actually help them? Here's the truth that no one is telling you. What we label as ADHD and ADD are often just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath those labels are two very different neurosystem patterns. We call them the raging bull and the drunken bulls. That way, we can make sense of symptoms and everyday challenges that come from them. But most importantly, we can also make sense of what's going on with the nervous system dysregulation that's causing these different patterns. The raging bull pattern is the ADHD type. This pattern is stuck on, flooded with energy, impulsivity, and big emotions that can't be controlled. While the drunken bull ADD type is often shut down, exhausted, foggy, slow to process, and overwhelmed by everything around them. If you don't understand which kind of bull is charging through your child's brain, you'll keep chasing the wrong solutions. Today we're breaking down the real, neurological root causes of these behaviors. And most importantly, showing you how hope, healing, and true transformation are possible, all without dangerous drugs or medications. Because your child isn't broken. They don't need more labels. They need answers. They need understanding. And they need a care plan that finally gets it right. Let's dive in. Here are some alarming facts I want you to know about before we get started. According to the CDC, an estimated 7 million children in the United States have been diagnosed with ADHD. Approximately half of those, 3.5 million of them, are currently prescribed medication for the condition. Before we jump into the science, I want to address the most common and concerning side effects of these ADHD medications in kids. First is usually problems with sleep. Many kids have trouble falling or staying asleep, which ends up worsening behavior and focus the next day. Next is appetite suppression. There is usually a significant decrease in hunger, often leading to weight loss or nutritional deficiencies over time. Third is emotional dysregulation or irritability. A child can have increased mood swings, frustration, and even aggression, especially as the medication wears off, which is what we typically call the rebound effect. Number 4 is anxiety and nervousness. These medications can cause heightened worry, restlessness, or panic, even in kids without prior anxiety issues. Another side effect, tics or involuntary movements. New or worsened motor or vocal tics can appear, which may or not be reversible. Number 6 is headaches. Persistent headaches are often a frequent complaint, particularly when starting meds or adjusting the dosage. Next is stomach pain or nausea. This discomfort can make it hard for our kids to focus or function normally during the day. Number 8, increased blood pressure and heart rate. Stimulants can raise cardiovascular markers, which might be risky in some children. And lastly, social withdrawal or zombie-like behavior. Some kids become emotionally flat, withdrawn, or lose their spark or personality. These medications don't actually address the root cause, which is often a stressed, dysregulated nervous system, and can lead to a cycle of chasing symptoms, adjusting dosages, or layering on more meds, like adding in sleep meds or anxiety meds. Let's talk science. The evolution of terminology, ADD versus ADHD. What many parents don't realize is that the term ADD is actually an outdated term that is no longer used. Today, all attention disorders fall under ADHD with 3 different types of presentations. We have your predominantly inattentive, which is formerly known as ADD. We have predominantly hyperactive, impulsive, and we have a combined presentation. This change in terminology reflects our growing understanding that attention deficits and hyperactivity often co-occur and stem from the same neurological roots, even if they manifest differently in individual children. This leads us to the raging bull versus drunken bull analogy that I mentioned earlier. In our practice, we've found it helpful to describe children with this hyperactive, impulsive presentation as having a raging bull tendency. Their minds are constantly racing, their bodies need to move, and they struggle to slow down during quiet, focused activities. On the other hand, children with predominantly inattentive presentation, formerly ADD, demonstrate more of a drunken bull pattern. They appear spacey, forgetful, disorganized, and have difficulty staying on task or following directions. What's fascinating is how often these patterns evolve into each other over time. The hyperactive child can develop attention issues as they become frustrated with academic challenges, while the inattentive child can become hyperactive from the built-up stress of anxiety of constantly struggling. With this background of knowledge, let's dive into the neurological roots of ADHD. At the core of both of these presentations lies a complex interplay of neurological factors that impact a child's ability to regulate attention, behavior, and emotions. The three key elements we find most often are subluxation with sympathetic dominance. This involves misalignments, tension, and restricted mobility within the neurospinal system that interferes with how the brain and body communicate. These physical disruptions, often stemming from birth trauma or early injuries, create noise in the nervous system. Second is nervous system dysregulation and dysautonomia, which is kind of a sciencey term for imbalance. When subluxation persists, it throws the autonomic nervous system out of balance, often leaving children stuck in a heightened fight or flight response that makes calm and focus nearly impossible. And number 3, vagus nerve dysfunction. The vagus nerve is essential for activating the rest and regulate parasympathetic response. When it's not functioning properly, children struggle to regulate emotions, attention, and behavior. The best part of all of this, we can find and measure your child's nervous system stress pattern and root cause with our neurological insight scans. Here's what every parent needs to know. Millions of kids today are struggling with either undiagnosed ADHD or have a diagnosis, but are still stuck in the same cycle of symptoms, side effects, and little to no progress. That's because ADHD tests and treatment plans stop at surface level symptoms. They label the child, but they don't look deeper into the real root cause. True ADHD struggles begin in the brain and nervous system, and unless we measure what's happening under the surface, we miss the most important part. Our neurological insight scans don't just label. They measure and map out what's causing the chaos. So a customized drug-free care plan can be created to help your child calm their brain, regain focus, and thrive. If you're tired of guessing, tired of meds that don't work, or tired of watching your child struggle without answers, it's time to look deeper. It's time to turn your child's struggle into a superpower. To learn more, comment below, visit the link in our bio, or send us a DM.